What's up, baby?
Turkey killing mofos. Hey, you a professional now.
You got her? Heck yeah, man. That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
Storytelling in regards to hunting and fishing has gone back hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Literally on the rock walls of our nation.
Push it.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing, Brandon?
Go. By the way, your nipples are already wet.
I just shot probably one of the most epic scenes, probably ever. These two monster bugs got after it, and it was so cool.
That's about like what you want it to look like. Cover it.
Oh, he's so handsome.
That's a big deer, Megs.
He's big. He's a big boy. That's talking whitetail.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Holy crap.
Look at those hooves. Everybody wants to be a turkey hunter until it's time to do turkey hunter
Yo.
What up?
Oh. Another day.
Hey, what's this? It's like 62% right now. What's all that about up here?
Oh, it's uploading. It's already hit record, so I don't have to get up again.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing that. People like asking, like, "Oh, is it recording already?" I'm like, "Yeah, we already got it going." Because if not, I have to get up again. I need to get me a mouse over here, then I'll be able to do it.
Yeah, come on, Brandon, get your shit together.
No, we're gonna just have a real studio. Just have a button. Boom, start.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I made it just over. I think it wound up being like 50 hours on my fast.
Yeah, tell me 50 out. So how far was that? Where'd you get?
Sunday at 8:30 until Tuesday night at about 10:30.
Oh. How much weight did you lose?
Yeah, probably none. But I felt better though. Like I feel lighter. Like my stomach doesn't feel all bloated and stuff. It wasn't that bad. Like the first day wasn't bad. But I did that podcast last night and I was like in the middle of it, I was like, I'm hungry. like I'm legit hungry.
There's not
And I was
enough.
like, I could have just went like if I'd have just went to sleep like right after the podcast, I probably would have been all right. But then like Megan and them came back, so then I stayed up, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna get something to eat. So I didn't eat a whole bunch though. It was good. I had like 2 chicken patties, and that was it.
There's not enough water you can chug at that point.
Probably not, but I was making it. I'll do it again. I kind of want to do a longer one for sure. Like 48 hours is good, but I think I can go longer than that. Just can't have no distractions.
That's right.
If I was just like, it's a whole lot easier. Like people, I guess you would say like if you did it by yourself, it'd be harder. But I think it'd be a whole lot easier if you did it by yourself.
Me too.
You don't have to
if you were at a freaking cabin in the woods just hanging out,
yeah,
it would be easy.
I think you can get it done.
Yeah. For one, you wouldn't have a lot of food, so.
True. You don't have to have anybody else bringing in food either, because then Megan brought home like Chick-fil-A chicken strips, and I was like, ooh, those look good. And then all day at work yesterday, we were talking about food. Everything on Instagram, food. Like most food I've seen, just because I was trying not to.
Yeah.
But I'll do it again. It'll work out.
Well, my picture's at 36. Yours is at 65. So I don't know if that's good enough or not, but we're rolling.
Oh, yeah. It'll be good. But yeah, so I'll do a little intro, just talk about going kill turkeys and tack, and then we'll get into you going to Africa.
Cool.
All right. What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Tejas Hunt Club Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon McDowell, and tonight we're joined by a special esteemed guest, a returner to the podcast, Mr. Jared Erickson, who's also a founding member of Tejas Hunt Club. So we've been hunting turkeys and shooting bows, and he's planning a trip to Africa. So we want to get on the podcast and kind of talk about what we've been doing the past couple of weeks, which it started out pretty good for the first weekend of turkey season. That's the first one in a while. I'm sure if you follow us on Instagram, you've seen the post or a couple posts. And if you don't follow us on Instagram and you listen to the podcast, shame on you. Go follow us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that good stuff. But I killed a turkey. Didn't think a turkey season was going to be that great this year, but turns out did get to knock down a bird. Another guest of the podcast, Kobe May, found some birds on his property and invited me out to put the whole shotgun to one, and we did.
Yep.
Called Jarrett because obviously he's the turkey calling master around here, and I'm still working on it, but we're getting there. But just to call in some birds and see if we can get on one. But it was a good time. Like you said, Colby hooked it up. I mean, he sent me a map and drew a circle where he'd been seeing them, and that kind of where the story starts is like we didn't really know where they were on this property for sure. We kind of, like I said, we knew where Colby had seen them before and where he sent us on the map. But when you come into this property, it's a long straight road, and then it's a curve, and about, I don't know, what would you say, Jared? Probably 120 yards, 140 yards is where he had put that circle at from that curve.
A lot closer than what Onyx made it seem like, for sure.
Yeah, so I got there a little bit early, and we were hunting Goliad back at home, so that was pretty cool. And then I got there a little bit earlier than Jared, and I pulled in, and when I looked at it on the map, I was like, man, I'm just going to pull around this curve, stop right there, try to listen and see where these birds are, and we'll go from there. Well, I pull up, shut my truck off, roll down my windows, just sit there and kind of listen. And there's an oil pad or something that's nearby, and it kind of lets off a boop, boop, and then all I hear is blah, 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 blah. And these turkeys are still on the roost, but they are a lot closer than I thought they were going to be. So I tried to start my truck again and back up around the corner because I thought I was too close, but that didn't work because as soon as I started my truck, they gobbled again. So I just shut it off, turned off all the lights, and just waited for Jared to get there. And he called me because he was pulling into the place and he kind of didn't know where I was, and probably to make sure I was there because there was an instance where I didn't show up on a turkey hunt one time, but we'll leave that in the past.
We're past that, yeah.
But he called me and I answered like, "Hey man, like they're right here." So he pulled in. We got everything out of the truck and kind of we're trying to judge exactly how far they were because they were gobbling once again when that alarm or whatever went off. But sounded like there were some pretty good birds in the group. So of course we got really excited, and hopefully we didn't blow them off the roost or anything. But I don't know what Jared thought about when he pulled in there and then heard those gobbles, but it gets you excited, but it's still like it seems like they're way too close. But we get everything out of the truck. We had trying to pick a spot to sit down and get set up. And we made our way about any closer, we'd have been right on top of them. But we found a tree to set up against and kind of just waited for things to start waking up. It was still pretty early.
Had to be 50 yards away or something. It was not very far at all. So
it wasn't far at all. So sun starts coming up. We're getting closer to shooting time, and Jarrett pulls out that slate call and starts giving a little morning purr. And boy, I'm gonna say we really didn't see that many hens on this property. So there's probably not any hens around because I mean, as soon as Jared started going to work on that slate, they were reacting and like ready to go. And I mean, once they hit the ground, we'll get the video posted up on YouTube, and y'all guys can watch it. But once they flew down off the roost and hit the ground, it was 90-0, headed straight for us. Like, they hadn't heard a hen's voice in a long time.
I was the only woman on that place for sure that morning.
Yeah, it was about I'd say it was about 3 or 4 jakes that was out front. They came in, and then there was about 3 older birds. One of the ones is the one I shot, but he was the only one that really fanned out. I was watching the footage because I was editing the video, and there's another bird in the back with him that kind of tried to puff up a little bit, but it was almost like it's cool like going back and watching it, because like it kind of almost like he didn't want to. Like every time he tried to, he was like kind of looking at the tom that I shot, which was like pretty interesting to see them kind of interact that way. But he was the only one that blew up, but he wasn't really coming all the way like he'd like. I mean, we didn't have any decoys set up, just from not really wanting to waste time and try to set those up and get set down, because we were that close, and they were looking around the whole time. I mean, in those few jakes that came by, they trying to let them pass and just sit there and be still and not let them see you. Because I mean, if I turned to the left, they were right there. But
5
they
yards
were
away, maybe.
dang near, and they were kind of putting around like something wasn't right, because they weren't seeing that hen that they were hearing. So the three older birds that were kind of in the back were just like kind of taking a few steps forward, then taking a few back, because it just wasn't looking right. And every time Jared would start calling, and I started calling a little bit too, just try to entice them to come that way. And it just, I didn't think it was going to work. Like, I thought it was just they were just gonna stay that far away or start moving off or something else, and we were really just gonna have to get down and chase these birds. But I mean, Jared called him in just right and got that tom to come in, and it was a farther shot than I really wanted to take, and I kind of knew it. I mean, even when we left the truck, and I was like, because I'm using Meagan's shotgun, I need to get me a turkey hunting rig, and I've been seeing some that I kind of want to build out, but it's obviously going to take a lot more money than just going to buy one off the shelf. But there's some pretty cool builds I've been seeing on the internet, just kind of taken from the tactical side, but more for turkey hunting. Obviously, we're not going to run out there with no sawed-off shockwave or something like that, but just the folding stocks and that kind of stuff is kind of intriguing me a little bit. So might see if I can build one out before next turkey season. But I was using Meagan's shotgun. I've used it on dove hunts. I've used it on a lot of different things, just because my over and under was out of commission, and of course I'm not going to use an over and under to turkey hunt. I want that third shell.
Yeah, you need it more than you know. So.
Yeah, and even if you don't need it, it's just a nice thing to have, just to make you feel a little better.
We had them dancing a little bit though, because they started to like go back down the road, and then we'd hit the call just a little bit, and they would turn around and take a few steps towards us, and they kind of did that 3 or 4 times, and
Yeah,
then luckily Brandon had enough, and he threw one out there and got it done. So
yeah. I mean, when I say threw one out there, I mean afterwards we were sitting there talking. I remember you asking me like, "Hey man, like what kind of choke are you running in that gun right there?" And I was like, "Modified." That's a little open, but yeah, like you say, when you get on our YouTube channel and then watch the video, like I knew when I pulled the trigger on the first shell, the second shell, as soon as it was getting loaded into the gun, it was getting pulled too, because we're going to throw as much as we can at them. And luckily, Apex Ammunition. I mean, we're not sponsored by them. It'd be pretty cool if we were, but it works. I'll tell you that Apex Ammunition works even with the modified choke. So that was kind of the kickoff to both of our turkeys. Well, not your turkey season. You had guided at DEA a couple weeks before that, and I mean, how did that go?
it was good. We had Houston Safari Club down there, a group that came in with DEA, and I was hunting with a guy, and I think our first hit Saturday morning, saw some birds, didn't really get on them, but that afternoon it was really windy. Didn't think, well, we couldn't hear them obviously, but didn't think we were going to get on them. But they finally kind of came to their routine path and came through, and kind of the same thing. Like had a bunch of young birds and hens that came through and went past us, but the toms, and there was a lot of toms in that group that dragging the ground type beards, but they hung up past 50 yards and wouldn't come in. And there was a 3-year-old bird that came in close enough. I think it was about 40 yards. And the guy got him real quick, and he went down, and we we actually circled around and chased the other group that ran off for about 30 minutes, and he got another one. So about 3-year-old birds, good 10-inch beards, and doubled up on Saturday afternoon, the second weekend of the season. So that was a good one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, get, DEA's different, and
Oh
we'll
yeah.
kind of get to the when we went back because it's like a light switch, man. Those first 2 weekends, we can get down there and we can hunt. And most of the time we're guiding for it, and other people are shooting. But like the birds work, and they love your calls, and they're going to come to them. They'll work in the decoys if you got to throw that out there. But just about the end of March going into April, it just turns off. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to see how many birds are there that just don't even care. Like
No.
you can call all you want to, they'll gobble back to you, but they just like, hey man, I know you're there, and if you're really who you say you are, you'll come over here.
Yeah. It's almost, I mean, literally, it's not even about skill or if you're a good turkey hunter at that point. It's almost all about luck because you and I were there. I mean, we had birds all around. We had 3 groups of toms gobbling that first morning all around us. And
Yep.
as soon as they hit the ground, they went the other way. And then the second day, as soon as they hit the ground, you didn't hear them anymore, right? And so
Yeah.
it's all luck at that point in the season in Mathis, Texas, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And like we had an opportunity to kill some birds, but they came in silently, and they were just younger birds. And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm I'm to the point I can say like turkey hunting now. It's like I'm not just gonna go out and shoot a bird just to shoot a bird. Like I've killed a few now, or been there either guiding or calling or something else to kill a few birds. So just going out there to shoot a jake is not on my agenda. I want something with a little rope and some spurs on them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm definitely going to be picky about that. And I think you, Jared, you're at that point too, where it's like, hey man, like if I'm going to kill a bird, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. I want granddaddy. I want the 1.25 inch spurs, the 12-inch beard, the one that's gonna make you work for it for sure. So
Yeah, I mean, kids, first time you're just getting your feet wet turkey hunting, shoot a jake, sure. If
Mhm.
your population allows it, if the regulations allow it. There's some states now that they shut down on shooting jakes. It's against the law now. It's got to be they got beard standards and spur standards now that you got to abide by. So if it's legal, shoot a jake, go for it. I mean, if you're hunting in Texas, we discussed this. It's kind of like, I mean, I
this
can safely say we probably have the best turkey population in the country. I mean,
the state of
no doubt
Texas
about it.
does not discriminate on what you shoot from a gobbler standpoint at all.
No, no. And we got enough birds for everybody, man. I was looking on Instagram. Austin K, he runs AK Outfitters around Dilley and Pearsall, Texas, and they hunt turkeys pretty hard. And I think he finished out the season, all of his guiding and stuff, and all the properties. I mean, he's got a lot of them that he hunts on. But they killed 101 birds.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's
I
a lot
mean
of birds.
that's a lot of birds. They were after it for sure, but I mean, we just have a good turkey population. We have the habitat for it. I mean, the predators, they are what they are, but the turkeys are thriving as far as I can see. I
Yep.
mean, even from North Texas down to South Texas, the whole state. But speaking of predators, that's kind of one of the things that we think was well, we know because we saw it
Yep.
that day at DEA. But there was a coyote running around, and I think that's kind of why those birds as soon as they hit the ground, they shut up and they weren't going to make any noise because he was running around. Which, I mean, there's calves out there, there's white-tailed deer, fawns, everything else, and we thought we were going to move around him, and we almost got a shot at him too, but it was kind of a quick draw situation. I'd have had to drop the camera, and Meagan wouldn't have been too happy about that, even if I would have shot the coyote. So he got away on that one, but hopefully, Leo or somebody will be able to pick up his trail and get him knocked down, because that's not good. Is with all the animals and stuff they have there, and then the turkeys too. And he was a healthy coyote, so he might already got him a couple animals already out there in Mathis, Texas. Yeah. But we're gonna have to either see if Leo got him, or maybe we can go down there, give me a Fox Pro or something, see if we can call him up.
Sure, he wouldn't mind us taking care of that for him.
No, not at all. I don't think I've ever killed a coyote over a call before. Like, I've seen him in the pasture and shot, I think maybe like one or two, something like that. But I ain't never really called in coyotes. I think it'd be pretty fun. I really want to go to like Kansas or Nebraska and one of them greyhounds and go catch them that way. But yeah, I guess we can call them in too.
It's hard. Like in Texas, I think it's kind of more difficult because up there it's all crop fields that are, cut and it's wide open, right? And so down here, I mean, there's so much brush in this country that you got to find the right spot. And when they come out, they're 100 yards, 50 yards, or something like that. It's not like you got too many wide open spaces, and they're shifty.
Yeah.
Like right when they come in far enough, they're going to stop, and you got to take care of them. We're like a bobcat or something like that. They'll sit there and look at you for a while, but it's fun.
Oh yeah. But we wound up not getting a bird at DEA, which, I mean, it was not for lack of trying. I'll tell you that. We were really that last morning we made we made a jaunt across there. We started out on one side of that little valley over there and went clear across it to go find these birds. And when we finally got over there after those birds walked off into the brush and it didn't work out, I looked back and I was like, man, we made it across there pretty quick.
Yeah.
For where we were. But I mean, like I said, we hunted hard, but just no luck and not the right birds that we wanted to shoot. I mean, like I said, we're not going to be shooting jakes anymore, but want something with a little substance to him. that deep gobble.
DEA is like the high school girlfriend that pisses you off, but you just love her so much, right? Like you just keep coming back for more. Like I will always go to DEA to hunt turkeys, but man, like we like Colby's place. We've never been there. We show up, get a bird, right? And I mean, over here at Albright Ranch, done the same thing. Like found the turkeys, go sit down on them and double up or get one or whatever we do, right? Like, but DEA, for as much time and knowledge that we have of that place, it is crazy hard it's been to get a bird. You and I both get a bird. Like we've gotten one with hunters, right? But for us to shoot a bird, it's been difficult the past few years.
Yeah, that ain't no lie. And I mean, from the first year with trying not to get chased by emus, which is the wrong bird that we to be shooting, but from that to just like you said, birds not working. I mean, it being windy and not being able to hear them gobble or whatever it may be. I mean, it's tough hunting because, I mean, all year we talked to Leo and he's like, oh yeah, we got birds. And I mean, we know they're there. We've seen them. We know where they roost. We know their favorite trees. I mean, we could dang near walk to the places with our eyes closed, but it's still like every time that we think they're going to do one thing, they do the opposite. And it makes it even worse because we knew what the opposite thing was, but we just chose the wrong one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, you remember with that first time we hunted down there and that freaking emu was like Matthew McConaughey just coming up behind us like,
yeah.
And we're like, what in the hell is that? This big ass, big bird comes around the corner. We're like, oh shit, we might need to shoot this thing if he comes closer.
Exactly. And then the one bird that trip that came out, I mean, we had that Tom comes running in like he's just like all excited. Just
Yep.
he's heard a hen and he's about to die. But that emu saved his life because as soon as he turned the corner and saw that emu, he's like, nope, I'm out. And
Hell
turned around
no.
and went the other way. I
Yep.
mean, and we just looked at this emu like you just blew our whole hunt. I really want to shoot you right now, but I'm not packing you over my shoulder. Oh man, I mean, like I said, I've said this many times, but I did not start out being a turkey hunter. But I love it. It's a lot of fun, especially in the springtime. And I mean, there's not a lot of a lot of people turkey hunting in Texas, and we're lucky enough to have a good population and a good chance to go hunt them. I mean, I still want to finish my slam, and Jared, you've got your Rio and stuff, but we got to get you a Eastern on the board, and
Yep.
get me a Merriam and Osceola and all the rest of them. So hopefully next year we give old Steve a call and fly up to Idaho. We can get that Merriam. We can both knock that one off the list. But we're gonna have to start planning some out of state trips to get this slam down.
I'm down for next year. Needs to be the turkey year for sure. I'm ready to do that. I was planning on it, but then the trip to Africa kind of popped up. But next year, definitely want to do that. So
Yeah, I mean, even I'm gonna start looking at Nebraska and Kansas too, because they have Easterns there. Depending on what side, obviously the eastern side of the state, you can hunt them and find them there. And then in some of those places, you can find Merriams too. So might be
are
able
they
to
are they
do what?
hybrids? Are they hybrids or like
There,
full
there,
blown?
there are some. Yeah, there are some hybrids, but the further east you go, you'll get into more easterns. Like where I killed my eastern, I killed the eastern, and then I killed the eastern Rio hybrid.
Gotcha.
So that was pretty cool. But obviously, the further east you go, the more easterns. The further west, you get more Merriams, and then the Rios are kind of sprinkled in between there in Kansas and Nebraska. So um, I don't think there's a Merriam Eastern hybrid. I think it's mostly like the Merriams and the Easterns crossing with the Rios. But I could be wrong about that. I'll have to look it up. But I think that's really how it is because the Rios just, I mean, they go wherever they want to go.
Yeah, them Rios don't give a shit. They'll get with anybody.
Yeah, they ain't picky. But yeah, we'll try to map that out for next year for sure. And I mean, if you fly to Idaho, hunt for a weekend and fly back, I think Kansas and Nebraska we'd have to drive just because it's there's not that many airports to just hop around and then try to get a rental car, but that drive's not that bad. It's
No,
not as bad as Idaho. I'll tell you that. It's not as
no.
bad as Idaho.
So Idaho, when I flew up there to mule deer hunt the first year, I flew into it was Utah, but it was like right across the border. I can't remember what city it was. It wasn't Salt Lake or anything like that, but it was about an hour and a half drive to Steve's place over there. So it wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's definitely better. But we'll get that planned out and we'll definitely keep y'all guys in the loop. And then the next weekend, we went to Total Archery Challenge, which was last weekend. Yeah, last weekend, and we've been going to that event since we both started shooting bows, which has been a few years now.
Yeah.
Jared in preparation for Africa, and me as an excuse to pick up my bow because I really haven't in the past couple months. Not much at all, but we shot just Saturday. Usually we go both days, but this year we just went for one because Hastings here, and you got river and forest at the house, so we weren't getting out for too much. And then, but glad we got to make it out for that day. We went and shot the Leupold course, which, man, I knew since our knock time was like earlier in the afternoon, we weren't getting there till right about lunchtime. Parking was going to be a little bit, of a stretch, but I did not see parking where we parked for sure.
No.
That's the first time we've had to park that far out. for TAC ever. And I mean, there were so many people there. It's great for TAC, great for the event. I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, I'm not sure we've got a few people that have listened to the podcast that have been attacked because of it, but like for the most part, it's just their marketing and I mean their event, and it's awesome. If you shoot a bow and you don't go to TAC, it's kind of a missed opportunity just because you can see where you're at and judge, how good of a shot you really are. Depending on obviously on what course you shoot, you can get to the harder ones like Prime and Sitka and stuff, and or you can go shoot the little kiddie course that we passed by,
Mhm.
or the Army F, or like I said, we shot Leupold, and that's kind of like the middle of the road. Like, I think the longest shot we had was like 75 yards or something like that, but
Yeah.
real technical shots. Like, I mean, branches and stuff in front of the target and halfway down the range where you really can't see him and stuff like that. But got to see a lot of people we met in the past and catch up and all that kind of stuff. I went to the Total Archery Challenge kickoff party that they had at Archery Country, and that was pretty cool. Getting to see like guys like Remy Warren and John Dudley and Evan Hafer and guys you look at on Instagram and then you can just go have a conversation with, which is pretty nice. You're not really gonna you don't really get that outside of the hunting industry, I think, especially with these like bigger guys that you pay attention to and that go on all these cool hunts and stuff. But I mean, they'll sit there and have a conversation with you, and it's not like they're like kind of just going along with it. Like they're genuinely interested in what you're saying, and if you got questions, they'll answer them for you. So that was pretty cool. Some good food. So shout out to Archery Country for having that event the past couple years. And then, like I said, we shot the course. It's 25 targets. I mean, I didn't turn on Onyx to see how far we walked, but it was a gap. I'd say at least 3.5, 4 miles, probably.
5.
Five
Yes.
miles. Ugh, nice. I was trying to be conservative on it because I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, we went 6 miles, hiking around, but I guess it was actually closer to that than 5 miles. But I mean, it's good exercise too if you want to get out. Luckily, it didn't rain on us. I think it sprinkled like a little bit, but
It was good.
It was good. Weather was good. Everything. I mean, what would you say was like the target that you thought was like the hardest for you, I guess, or like one that just kind of made you mad? All of them.
The 4 that I totally missed and ruined an arrow. No.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think the ones that are surprising are the ones that have the like limbs and obstacles or the angles to them. And you look at those and you're like, crap, like what's my arrow gonna do? And like, you know, I'm gonna hit this branch or this is gonna happen. This ain't gonna be a good shot for me. But then you pull back and you put it on it and you let it rip, and those were the ones I shot decent, right? Like you hit the target and
Yeah.
others were missing in front of us, and just surprising. But then the ones that you shouldn't have missed are the ones that you typically miss. So
Yeah. I mean, like even for me, it was like I was shooting everything high because, like you said, you put your pin on where it needs to go, no matter if there's stuff in front of it, and it's gonna hit the target where it needs to go. As
yeah,
long as your the flight path your arrow goes. So I was holding, higher because I was trying not to hit stuff when I just should have just held where I needed to hold. But
yeah,
it's learning. I'm not a professional archer or anything. I'm still trying to just pick up my bow and learn how to shoot better every day. But it's it's cool. Like I said, go to those kind of the Total Archery Challenge and everything, and test yourself. Because I mean, you can shoot in the same spot in your backyard all the time, and I mean, you can hit that 10 spot or hit that 12 every time. But until you start putting yourself in situations to see what you can actually do, you'll never know. And I mean, it's not going to be like that when you're hunting. I mean, if you just want to shoot targets, cool, you can do that. But if you're trying to shoot a bow to get better at hunting, you're gonna have to test yourself for
yeah.
sure, because they're not just gonna be standing broadside and wide open, with no branches or nothing around you, and give you all the time in the world to shoot.
That's why I definitely
that
wanted to go before the Africa trip. Like I hadn't, like you haven't picked your bow up in a couple months due to Haston getting here and being busy. And last couple years with my two boys, it's been that way too. So I had to get my bow. The timing was off. All kinds of things were off, and so I had to take it to the bow shop and got it all, done. But then that's why I wanted to take it just to shoot it in on 3D targets and situations instead of just shooting the block in the backyard. But I would say I'm glad we shot Leupold because we have neither one of us has shot in a while. But
yeah.
next year, like Sitka, when we shot Sitka, that was a cool course just because you were shooting straight up or straight down and like over limbs. And I mean, it was a lot. The terrain was a lot different and the shot angles were different too. It was a lot more challenging. It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so next year hopefully we'll be able to shoot 2 days and get it on a couple different courses. Hopefully, I mean for the most part, I can't remember exactly every course, obviously, but they do a pretty good job of changing it up every year. Like it's
Yeah.
not like we've shot Leupold before, and the Leupold course we shot this year was not the Leupold course that we shot before. So I mean they do a pretty good job of changing it up to where you're not seeing the same thing, even if you are shooting the same courses and stuff every year. It's just a sponsorship technically of what it is, and they just make the course whatever they want it to be. I'd like to talk to them about how they decide and how they lay it out. Like I wonder if they like start with a map and kind of draw it out first, or they just walking around and be like, "Let's put one right here."
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say you think it's all like complicated and intricate, but then they're like, just put it 35 that way. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be interested to see how they actually do that because I mean, it is set up like pretty cool to where you walk through everything and it's all kind of mapped out. But I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get them on the podcast and get to ask them those questions, or just next time we go to TAC or something and get to ask them. But I know you left early. Well, you had to get back for your niece's birthday and everything. But I went over by the SIG booth, like we talked about them binos, those image stabilizing binos, and I picked them up for the first time, like, and got to look through them. Oh, dude, well, you got to get you a pair. I got to get me a pair,
I was about to
but
say,
it
did you
is.
buy some or what?
I was real close. If I didn't have this scope to buy for this new 6 ARC rifle that I built, I probably would have bought those. But I got to wait for the scope to come back in stock, the one that I really want. So I got to keep that money kind of pushed aside and just leave it there. But dude, I mean, I was looking at, like, you could sit there and just turn them off or start with them off, and you can like look far away, and like where their booth was, it was like looking back towards where the caribou chute was and where we were standing at the end. So
Yeah.
back that way, and I just had them off, and I was looking, and I was like, I mean, the glass is better than the Vortex ones that I have, and I mean, it's not the top of the line Vortex binos that I have, but they're pretty good. But the glass was so clear, and then you just flip that little switch and turn it to image stabilization mode, and it's just like everything just sits there. And I mean, I was like holding them and then like trying to move and like test them out, and I mean, it shows that it's moving, but it's just like so much smoother than it would be like if you didn't have them. I was like, this is ridiculous. And I mean, I had Megan look through them too, and she even looked at me and was like, yeah, we need to get us a pair of these, because like we talked about, man, just the way we hunt down here in Texas, you're riding on Can-Ams or side by sides or riding in the truck down a road and being able to spot a buck or something to go in and make a stalk or do something. It's going to be so much easier to pick out and actually, see what you're looking at. Like, I think it's going to be to the point. It's like if you're hunting for older age class animals, you're going to be able to pick up and decide how old that animal is a whole lot quicker, rather than
Yeah.
like, hey man, let's walk down here a little bit, then we'll check him out. Like, no, you'll be able to see him from where you are, and they have different magnification levels. Like, so I think it was like from 10 power, they had a 12, a 14, and an 18 power. And
They
it's
got a
that
range.
that that
They got
power the whole time.
They got a rangefinder in them too.
No, those don't. They don't have a rangefinder in them yet, but that'd be pretty cool. I know they have the range finding binoculars, but they don't have them. Like, I don't think they have the image stabilization and the rangefinder.
I got you. Well,
Not, well, not yet, at least.
now that you say that, I mean, my Vortex binoculars are getting a little age on them, so I
Yeah,
might have to check them out.
yeah. I mean, they can go to River. He needs
Yeah.
those binos so Daddy can get the better ones.
He's got a pair of toy binoculars, and he's 3 years old, so he's outgrown those already. He needs a hand-me-down pair for sure.
Exactly, but like, yeah, I got the guy's card, and he's like, "Hey, man, anytime you see him like come up on sale or something like that, or if you want to get a pair or something, just send me a message." So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and that's another great thing about TAC. I mean, you go the vendor area has grown a lot also, to where there's a lot of these brands like Kafaru and Marsupial and stuff that you really don't see in a Shields or a Bass Pro or Academy, but you'll get to test out their gear and like make sure it fits. Because if you're ordering a pack from Kafaru, like it's kind of the top of the line of packs between them and Stone Glacier and XO, you really don't get the chance to try stuff on first before you buy it. It's gonna be a process. You're gonna buy a pack, you're gonna do the best you can at fitting it, then you're gonna get it and try it on. You might have to send something back and exchange it or whatever, but when you're here, they have the demos and stuff, so you can know what to order when it comes time to do that. So that's pretty cool.
there was a
And
lot more vendors than last time I was there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and it's not like bad stuff either. It's everything that you want to see. Like I said, those brands that aren't carried in those big box stores where you can check out all their gear and stuff. I mean, like Kuiu. Like you can't just go unless you go to the Kuiu store, which is in Dallas. You can't really try on stuff or see how it actually fits on you, which go up in size. And I'll tell you that.
All these brands are probably in these bigger retailers out west and in that location, but like in Texas, they're not down here yet. We still have like Mossy Oak and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing against Mossy Oak or any of them, but it's like some of these other brands are coming out with, better stuff.
Technology.
Just better tech and like clothes that fit better and breathe better, and just it's just an overall kind of better experience than the camo or clothes you get at Academy and some of these stores around here. So check out Total Archery Challenge, and anytime you see any of these brands that are having classes or anything else, it's a good way to reach out and see what their stuff's about before you spend a lot of money, because this stuff's not cheap.
No, it's not.
You have to make very well educated purchases for sure. Do your research.
If you don't like your wife going shopping and spending money on expensive clothes, you're about to beat her on what you pay for this stuff. So.
Oh yeah. And I mean, speaking of that, you just got you a new bow case to go to Africa with, and that wasn't cheap. But no. it's what you needed though to be able to go over there, because it's not just hop in the truck and drive. It's you got to get on a plane and fly across a big old chunk of water, and then make sure your stuff's protected, because getting over there and then having your stuff messed up is not how you want to start a hunt. And it all starts with the stuff you buy to protect it, because a Magellan case ain't gonna work.
No. Did I want to spend that money? No, but the features and everything that they had inside the case compared to the competitors, you just had to do it. I mean, you had room to put everything and your bow. So
yeah. So getting into your trip, how did this trip come about? Because it wasn't like you've been to Africa and you were planning on going back, but it wasn't like you were in the works of planning this trip, or anything like that. It just kind of opportunity arises.
Africa trips are like opportunistic, at least for me.
Yeah.
I know there's others that like plan and budget and do that type of stuff. And honestly, a lot of my hunting trips are kind of spontaneous. Not like we're leaving tomorrow, but I'll be sitting there one night and I'm like, you know what? I want to go mule deer hunting. Like, let's put in for a tag. Let's do that. And this trip kind of popped up. My neighbor um had a couple buddies from work that were planning a trip to go over there. None of them had been to Africa, so he knew I was, I'd been to Africa before, and he's like, "Hey, we're looking for a fourth guy, and this is where we're going." Which it's on the Eastern Cape, different terrain than where I went before. I went to Limpopo, which is kind of central South Africa. Looks a lot like Texas brush country, but then where I'm going now, from what I've seen, looks more like the hill country. Um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, just got invited by, some mutual friends and um quite a while ago. I mean, it's almost a year that we kind of put this trip on the calendar and started planning for it and kind of I've been back and forth on the animal list. I was thinking about, a Cape buffalo, but that would have taken my whole budget
Yeah.
versus being able to shoot four different plains game, which target list for me would be eland, Nyala, Gamsbuck, and Waterbuck. So that's what I'm going over there for. If they have a deal on a Cape buffalo, they can definitely talk me into it. That's for sure. But so yeah, that's how it came about. And then like all things hunting, my wife makes fun of me because she's like, you go on vacation and you go to get tired and exhausted. And so just making things more challenging is what I like to do on these trips. And the last time I went with my rifle, my 301 mag, and this time, and I told myself after that, I said if I go back, I'm gonna take a bow. But hadn't shot it in about 2 years, hadn't been having kids and doing that. We just went to tag, but I decided like I'm gonna change my arrows from full metal jackets to carbon. And I need to resight it, put a different sight tape on it, do all that type of stuff, and start shooting again to feel comfortable enough to go sling arrows in Africa. And it's been a shortened timeline for sure, but we're getting it done for sure. Like a couple weeks ago, went to the bow shop, got everything adjusted, was doing good, and then actually sighted my bow in with a different sight tape the morning of tack, and then headed
Yeah.
down there. And so now it's just about slinging some arrows each day until we take off on the 13th of May. So,
Yeah. And I mean, I'll say this: like, there is something to shooting your bow every day. And I
mhm,
mean, we did like there when we first started out. And I mean, you
yep,
started before I did, but there was a point where we were shooting a bunch of arrows every single day. And I
yep,
think once you kind of figure out what works for you, not to say that you should take time off as maybe as much as we did, but like it's easier to get back into it. Like it's kind of like riding a bike. I would say as long as your bow and everything else is set up and
mhm.
nothing's bumped, nothing's been moved. That first arrow kind of back, you're like, oh yeah, this is what that feels like again, and you kind of figure it out. But yeah, I mean, you didn't go up in weight of your arrow. You just switched from the full metal jackets to the carbon. But what broadheads are you gonna take?
I'm a fixed broadhead guy. When we started hunting or shooting bows, like I bought all kinds of different broadheads, and I was shooting fixed, and I had mechanical, and not. I mean, there's plenty of people that shoot both, and to each their own, right? But after shooting mechanical through, cardboard and just kind of testing some of those things, they some of them don't open, or like one blade won't open, or they don't open at all. And
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not a chance guy. Like if I'm gonna take a shot on an animal, I want it to be the most ethical and best shot I can make, right? And so for me, fixed blade is where I'm at. And slick trick has been great for me, but I do different ones. Like I'll do the wickeds or the traditional slick trick. Or I was at the bow shop waiting on my arrows to get done before tack, and I was just sitting at the broadhead wall, just looking at all the ones they had to kind of pick and choose which ones I was going to take to Africa. So, but those are the ones I like typically.
Yeah. I mean, I like mechanicals. I've seen the bad stuff that's happened with them, but luckily I've had good luck.
Mhm.
And then I've shot the hybrids too. I like those better than a straight mechanical. The hybrid where it has the point
Fixed.
fixed and then the bleeders on the side, like that's
Yeah.
the way that I think it goes because it gives you a better cut, a bigger hole, but it's still you can get that penetration that you need because I mean a lot of those, like you said, those mechanicals either one blade comes out or no blades come out and you don't get the penetration that you need and then you got a wounded animal and that's not what you want over here in America. Excuse me, and it's definitely not what you want over there in Africa because
No.
those animals are a little bit tougher and they like to run and tracking wounded game is not going to lead you to much success over there. So yeah, I'd be
Don't get me
rolling with a
wrong,
fixed deer.
like with mechanicals, and I'm not expert on broadheads yet either, but on mechanicals, you can get a lot bigger diameter. Like I've seen some 2-inch mechanicals, right? But then when you look at fixed, anywhere between 1 inch to 1 1/4, or 1/8, or it kind of varies right there at the 1 inch. But um, it's very enticing to think about putting a
Yeah,
2 inch hole into something, and I mean I'm all about it. But yeah, I just haven't used mechanical much.
yeah, and I mean hopefully we get more companies making stuff. The technology gets better. I
Yeah,
mean, if you're really probably to look at it and see how far the technology's really come from, say, like the early 2000s or the 90s on broadheads till now, I mean, it's probably not that big of strides in what they're doing, but the more money you get into a company, you can test out new stuff, new materials to use, and all that good stuff. So
yeah.
hopefully they'll be coming out with something where it's kind of a mix in between, or they just set us up to have these battles of fixed blade versus mechanical and all that kind of stuff to keep it rolling.
I mean, if anybody's listening who wants to prove us wrong, you're more than welcome to send us some samples, and we will definitely try them out. So,
Oh, for sure. We'll try them out. I mean, I'm all open to doing that and seeing what works and what doesn't work. I mean, that's one of the cool things about, I guess, for me, like working in the industry at silencer shop and everything, is like being able to see all the different things and kind of behind the curtain on some stuff, especially on the firearm side, about why stuff is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to be able to test new things and see what works for you. And just because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it's not going to work for somebody else.
yep.
Draw links, way arrows are built, how much poundage you're pulling, like that all comes into factor when you're hunting, especially with bows.
But I am taking a piece of equipment from somebody we both know, Bo Davenport. His uh,
Yeah,
his archery company. He sent me a few sample arrows to try, and text him right after tack and told him which ones I wanted. So he's going to send me a dozen of them, and I'm going to shoot them a little bit and then put some broadheads on them and take them to Africa there. So looking forward to seeing what those can do.
yeah, that's gonna be cool, man. Obviously we've had Bo on the podcast and talked about it, but I wonder how many people has actually shot his arrows over there in Africa.
I don't know. We know somebody was shooting them at tack because we saw a piece of one. No, that's not
Yeah,
on
yeah.
not on bow, but maybe they should have
No.
shot better. But
Yeah,
uh,
but yeah, that'd be pretty cool to get that over there and test them out on some animals. Because I mean, I'm sure he's excited also to see what the results are when you get back and everything. But
uh,
are you the only one that's? I know you said the rest of the guys haven't been, so you're the only one that's taking a bow.
I'm the only one taking a bow. Actually, they are renting rifles. They didn't want to have to go through the clearance and all the stuff through airline and the government type of
Yeah,
stuff and wait. And so they opted to rent rifles over there, which that's what I would have probably done this round too if I went rifle. But yeah, I told myself that I would take a bow the next time I went, and you know, had to hold myself to my word. And I'll be the only one with a bow, so they do have bow blinds that you can hunt out of, like on water and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't like to sit. You know me and turkey hunting and all the rest. Like if I'm not seeing something, I'm gonna get up and try to find it. And so
yeah,
if the water hole's not working, then we'll try to go stalk something and get on it that way. So
Yeah, I mean, we both know you're going to see animals at the water hole, but it's
Mhm.
like, is it going to be the ones that you really want to go after, or it's going to be one that you want to go after but not quite old enough or something like that? And because
Yeah.
those older ones are real shy about coming into that water and everything. I mean, that's any animal because they've been around, they've seen everything, but yeah, I could imagine you sitting in a bow blind for like how long are y'all going to be over there?
It's 2 day travel and it's 5 days of hunting. So
Yeah,
10 altogether, really.
yeah. So 5 days of hunting. I will say maybe lunchtime the first day that you're
Mhm.
still in that
Yeah,
you're still in that bow blind and not walking around trying to go find them.
yeah. But I will tell you, if I'm in a bow blind on water and a big gnarly cave buffalo bull walks in and takes a drink the first day or something like that, I can't tell you that I'm not going to shoot him and be done for the whole week. Like,
Yeah, be done, and the next 4 days you just kick back and relax.
that's right.
Just meet everybody else when they come back in. And you need drinks. You need drinks. We're good. All right.
Yeah. They got a pool at this place, so I just kick it back at the condo. So
Yeah, there you go. I mean that. I mean, I'm sure there's been people that have probably done that before. It's like you go over there and you got one thing on your mind, and then something cool like that comes up, and you're like, well, that's it for me. We'll just hang out and do everything else. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do. Like I said, you hang out at the pool, or I mean, I'm sure they got other stuff you can do while you're there also.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it's going to be a good trip. Excited for you. Definitely going to be waiting. I know you probably have. Well, we'll start linking everything. You'll probably have Wi-Fi, but I'm gonna be waiting for those pictures to come across and everything else or whatever you get, man. And I see that
Um,
Cape Buffalo. I'm definitely going to be over here. You're going to hear me yell while you're still over there if you come back with a Cape Buffalo.
yeah, it's a 12-hour Well, yeah, 12-hour difference. And so if I send it to you at like 10 at night, you'll be waking up to go to work or something like that. And so,
Oh yeah, that'll definitely get me motivated to actually go out there and try to do something because that's pretty cool. It's gonna be a good time.
oh yeah.
What when do you leave again?
We'll fly out of Houston May 13th, and then we fly from there to Newark, and then hop on a plane and go to Johannesburg, which that's where I flew
Yeah,
in first, but this is farther south on the Eastern Cape on the coast. And so we're going to stay overnight in Johannesburg at the airport hotel and then catch a puddle jumper for that's like an hour and a half or something like that flight down to the Eastern Cape.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool, man. I can't wait to go. I did a podcast last night with Luke Keller. He's with HTK Safaris. We'll have that episode coming out, but he's a he's a booking agent over here. He's a professional chef. He owns a catering company up in Dallas, so that's his main job. So he does a bunch of anniversaries and weddings, and he said he had a bachelorette party or something this weekend that he's cooking for, and then he got hooked up with these guys from him going to Africa, and the PH he went with, he wound up working together and becoming a booking agent for them over. So they're actually in the Kalahari
Oh, that's cool.
desert. Yeah, so different spot in Africa, and that's one of the cool things we talk about all the time. Is like, man, you're going to hunt Africa, but it's like, what country in Africa are you going to hunt? Because everything
Yeah.
kind of offers something different. And we just talked about what they offer and everything. It sounded like a pretty good deal because they have some animals over there that you don't have like in other places, just because it's a desert and it's a different
Yeah.
environment and stuff. So it's pretty cool
I
talking
think
to him
that's where
about that.
like I don't know, I could be wrong, but like the Thomas gazelle and like the different
Hmm.
antelope species and things that are in that part of Africa. But yeah.
Yeah, and he's a bow guy too, so he was talking a little bit about archery and like having archery hunters over there and the fun he had. So Cape Buffalo's of course on his list as well. He said something about his main goal being shooting an elephant with a bow. And there's a
Mm.
couple places that you're able to do that with. So that would be pretty cool. He also talked about the rhinos. So they don't hunt rhinos. obviously, because they're endangered.
Yeah.
But they do vet checks on these rhinos, and you can go and do the darting. Of course, I
Yeah.
knew about it with the rifle, but they actually do it where you can go shoot and dart a rhino with a bow.
Really?
The only thing is, though, there's no backup gun because you can't shoot the rhino. So there's no backup gun for you there in case that rhino decides to charge. So it's a little bit of a hairy situation, but they do it over there.
I mean, are you a man? Like,
Yeah. I'm just a man all the way up until that rhino decides he's running at you, and then you're gonna try and run too.
oh,
Oh man, that I just poke myself with the tranquilizer and pass out.
yeah.
But no, it
Yeah.
was a pretty good podcast. But yeah, man, Africa's a cool place. I can't wait to go. I love hearing like your stories that you had. Megan has also been, and all our other friends that have been to Africa and stuff. And it's just it's getting to the point, man, where I'm especially for people that are getting into it, like getting into hunting and trying to learn. It's like go to Africa because because drawing tags, it's getting harder and harder every year. And
Yeah.
I mean, even if you do draw a tag, like what kind of experience are you gonna have, going to hunt versus like you can spend $10,000 on an elk hunt and it's one elk, one tag, and we'll see if you find one, or you take $10,000 and go to Africa and come back with 5 to 7 animals. So it's kind of, what do you want to do? And for those guys that got a bunch of points saved up and everything else, well, obviously, chasing elk and mule deer and stuff is the way to go. But if you're not lucky enough to have that, or money enough to get landowner tags and stuff like that, Africa's kind of the way to go right now.
So that's about my budget. And I mean, with flight and animals and all that stuff, I mean, that's pretty much where you're going to be. And I would say, like, the first time I started out with plains game. We had a list that we bought from an auction, but then you add on animals too. But the plains game are very reasonable. It's not it's when you get to like kudu and waterbuck and eland and like the bigger species to where you're talking 2,500, 3,500 or something, sable or like 5,000, right? Or roan or
Yeah.
5,000. And so you can definitely, spend a lot of money on, well, more money on one animal. It's not a lot of money compared to what you hunt those animals over here. But if you go over there and get all of the impala colors and species and a wildebeest, and I mean you go that route, you can still get several animals, more than 5 or 6 for damn good price.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, you'll get to go to another country, see another culture,
Hmm.
see a different part of the world just because you love hunting. I mean, a lot of people aren't going to make that trip if they don't hunt. I mean, even there's a bunch of hunters that don't make that trip that should, but it's cool to go hunt in other places. I mean, I've only hunted in different states, and it's something about going somewhere else and kind of testing yourself and seeing if you really are that great hunter that you think you are when you're away from home. I mean, you got the trackers and the pHs and stuff to help you kind of give you an idea, but it's still like there's a part of it that you have to perform in a different setting, different area, and all that stuff too. So we're into that kind of stuff, making it hard a little bit. Those little easy stuff isn't what we enjoy doing. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you want to just ride around and shoot pigs and have a couple cold drinks, we can do that too. But once you get to really wanting to get out there and like chase something meaningful, you're gonna have to go to other places to do it and test yourself.
And then, I mean, like I said, did rifle first, but then after that, I put down the rifle and wanted to bow. Like every time, I think the challenge is what keeps you going and has you chasing those things.
Yeah, and bigger animals, and like you said, we don't want to shoot jakes. And you'll get to the point where it's like that kudu's not big enough. I need one bigger. That sable's not big enough. I need one bigger. And I mean, that's just a part of it. But it's a lot of fun. If you don't have any plans to go to Africa, you should get them. You can listen to the podcast I did with Luke with HTK Safaris and reach out to them. You can go to Dallas Safari Club, Houston Safari Club, local CCA banquet. I mean, you can get that. That's where you got your first trip. I mean, it's there's a lot of opportunity out there to get to Africa, and for the most part, it's going to be your plane ticket. It's going to be your biggest thing, and then from there you can just have fun.
It is a lot of fun. I would go back every single year if I had the budget to do that, but we'll spread it out a little bit. But really looking forward to taking our boys one day too, right? And I think kind of
Oh yeah.
learning and going over there and experiencing it will get us ready to take the boys over there and have a really good time. So,
Oh, for sure. Because if Hastings comes to me and says, Dad, like I'm staying here, I want to be a PH. That would probably be like a pretty cool moment. But just getting them over there and getting them hunting. Period. Just having the opportunity is going to be a good time. We're
well,
really going to enjoy it.
if my son told me that, I would pretty much tell Jenna we were going to move to Africa. So.
Yeah.
Not for the
Yeah.
not for the hunting. Like I'm saying that because I don't want to miss my boy too much, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I got to get it in there, sneak it in there where we can, for sure.
yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, we'll get the turkey video uploaded. I mean, we'll be eagerly awaiting your photos and stuff from Africa. We'll get them posted on the page on Facebook and Instagram and everything. So everybody listen, be sure you follow the pages so you can see all the stuff Jared comes back with and kind of gets his take on when he gets back and everything. We'll do a podcast and do a wrap up on that when you get back and
Sounds
talk about
good.
the trip and all that kind of stuff. But glad I got to get you on tonight and do a little update for everybody on the turkey season and tack and getting you ready to go to Africa, man.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yes, sir. So thanks for listening, everybody. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, join the Facebook group, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace. Cool.
Cool.
Easy enough. Easy enough. Hit stop recording.